June 28, 1880, Australian outlaw Ned Kelly is in Glenrowan. Ned and his comrades made unique armour weighing more than 40 kilograms from scrap materials in an ordinary village forge. Kelly's armour had many marks from bullets. Half car at Strip Mall by acclaimed American photographer Burke Uzzell. At the Trade Center, Washington, 1961. New Zealand soldiers are washing socks in wooden tubs during World War I on May 7, 1918. In 1984, a butler is serving a meal to a table of dogs. This is in a Knightsbridge, London restaurant, and it's to mark the launch of a new dog food. A man armed with a machine gun sits at the Cook County Jail during the 1919 Chicago race riots. This bright red payphone, photographed in Tokyo in 1953, is more than just retro. Intercity calls were not allowed in Japan at the time, but by 1961 these machines had connected the country. Physicists at the 7th Solvay Physics Conference in Brussels, Belgium in October 1933. Soviet workers were protesting against the government because of low wages and a shortage of food. This happened in Novocherkassk, Soviet Union, in 1962. The protest was later brutally suppressed. Spain, 1957, mother and daughter. The American-made tank, America, was designed by Professor E.F. Miller back in 1918. Stalin is at the funeral of his first wife, Katusvanidze, in 1907. Woodrow Wilson, Warren G. Harding, and Calvin Coolidge. He also became a lifetime member of the American Legion. Sofia Vergara in the swimsuit calendar from 1994. Rudolf Hess in his cell at Spandau prison in 1986. Hess was the third most powerful man in Nazi Germany and the last surviving member of Hitler's cabinet. July 5, 1924, Babe Ruth hits the wall and the wall wins. An Egyptian lady dressed in all her jewels from the 1900s. Researchers prepare to fly a stratospheric balloon in South Dakota, 1935. Joseph Goebbels and Japanese actress Setsuko Hara, Berlin, 1937. January 20th, 1953. On this day, 70 years ago, President Dwight Eisenhower is lassoed by cowboy star Monty Montana while reviewing the inaugural parade. On June 10th, 1940, Italy declares war on France and the United Kingdom. A New York City trolley rolls in a snowstorm, 1910. Serbian nationalists are removing a picture of Josip Broz Tito from an engineering school in Belgrade. This happened during decommunization in Yugoslavia in 1990. In 1939, British inventor Charles Lawson created Superman Dennis, a 7-foot-tall robot. Actor Leslie Nielsen with his wife at their home in Hollywood Hills, Los Angeles, 1992. On April 30th, 1952, Mr. Potato Head was the first toy advertised on television. Paul Trappen, world's strongest man in 1915. David Bowie, 1976. Dancer Lily Saint is standing in court. The police raided her dressing room at the Sunset Club. Lily says her dance costume wasn't any more indecent than a bikini you'd see on any beach. This happened in December 1951. The 30s, at Lord's Cricket Ground, saw the introduction of television cameras. A Bedouin Man with braided hair from 1938. Masaru Ibuka and Akio Morita, founders of Tokyo Telecommunications Engineering Corporation, in Tokyo, Japan, 1946. The company changed its name to Sony in 1958. The latest in electric baseball scoreboards. George Coleman, the inventor, is shown with the mechanism. Washington, D.C., 1924. Marilyn Monroe's first wedding, when she was 16 years old, happened in 1942. The Giant Nazi Soldier, 1944. Angela Merkel, a young woman and her first husband Ulrich Merkel in 1975. "4.5 megabytes of data in 62,500 punched cards, 1955. The first official bikini, France, 1946. There's a crow lighting the cigarette of Tippi Hedren. This happened on the set of The Birds, which was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. This was in 1963. John F. Kennedy is having a tea party with his daughter Carolyn. A folding piano, specially designed for bedridden patients. It was made in Great Britain in 1935. The battle-scarred face of a German soldier, 1918. Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, and Jacqueline Smith from Charlie's Angels, 1976. Two servants are carrying an upper-class man. He's on something that seems more like a unicycle than a comfortable way to get around. It's in Korea. Don't drink. If you do drink, you're gonna regret it. Here's why. If you drink, you can't be a good worker. If you're not a good worker, you can't provide for your family. And if you can't provide for your family, you'll bring them to ruin. Your kids will be neglected, your wife will suffer, and you'll end up in the poorhouse. There are pedestrians and a New York City Police Department officer on the promenade of the Brooklyn Bridge in 1905. President Ronald Reagan is meeting Wayne Gretzky at the White House in 1982 on February 8th. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, he's posing as a mummy in Cairo in 1896. November 1953, Scrabble inventor Alfred Butts and promoter James Brunot posed with an oversized game. There's a photograph of Mahatma Gandhi with a spinning wheel from 1946. This is the last visual record of a Barbary lion in the wild. It was taken in 1925. March 1930. A good-tempered football crowd at West Ham. London passes a young boy over their heads to the front so that he can see the game better. A cancer patient during the 1800s. The telepath tries to hypnotize the chimpanzee, 1941. Imagine a drive-in movie theatre in 1933. There were two giant screens. Cars were parked in front of them, all facing forward. A small building was on site, and there was a concession stand for snacks. The speaker poles stood between the cars. 1983 sweaters were a real hit. Animal prints, pearls, checks, and diamonds. All the designers set the tone for bright and bold fashion. David Lynch and his father are collecting firewood, 1949. A milk delivery by dog cart in Studio City, California, around 1910. On September 25, 1957, 9 African-American students became the first to integrate Little Rock Central High School. Construction workers from 1928 in Missouri. It's a children's Christmas party at the Hoxton Mission in London. The date is the 18th of November 1933. American actress Myrna Loy rows a canoe down a flooded street around 1925. Mata Hari 1899. John and Julian Lennon are visiting the set of Happy Days around the mid-1970s. Switzerland 1903. Mountaineers conquer the Jungfrau. Alright, let's see what the Taco Bell menu was like in 1973. There was a taco, a bean burrito, a beef burrito, a chili cheese burrito, a taco salad, and a Bell burger. For sides, you could get taco chips or chili cheese nachos. For drinks, they had coffee, a soft drink, or milk. And for something sweet, there was a Choco Taco. A lightning bolt strikes the plume from a detonated US Navy depth charge. This was in Chesapeake Bay on October 24, 1957. Girls are gambling on Southam Street, London in 1956. Civil rights activists, the Freedom Riders, are beaten up by a mob after attempting a sit-in. This happened in Birmingham, Alabama on the 14th of May, 1961. The Soviet Union got kicked out of the League of Nations in December 1939. That was because they invaded Finland. Christopher Walken in 1977. The Children's Khorovod, also known as the Barmely Fountain, is located in Stalingrad. Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin in 1993. United States Air Force pressure suit testing in a vacuum chamber, simulating an altitude of 65,000 feet. This happened in 1953. There's an Australian man holding an emu from the year 1932. A street musician plays the violin for a little girl. He's wearing a hat. The little girl has a doll. She's wearing a dress. They are in a street. Young Osama bin Laden is training in judo. Before his presidency began, John F. Kennedy was just an underdog candidate hoping to somehow win. Here, he campaigns in West Virginia in 1960. Hitler's fourth grade class, he's in the top row, centre. Washington, D.C., around 1927. Travelling the country with his dog, Little Pocahontas, Walter Lehman documented Native American culture with photographs that appeared in magazines including National Geographic and Nature. The heavy transporter, a MAZ 7310, is carrying a tank. The The tank is for storing liquid hydrogen. This is during the construction of the Baikonur Cosmodrome. It's in present-day Kazakhstan in the USSR in 1962. This is a painting of Frida Kahlo. She's holding a hammer and a sickle. Pumping fuel, 1974, 48 cents a gallon. Madonna, Sting and Tupac, 1944. Theodore Roosevelt and his wife, Edith Roosevelt, in the 1910s. Russian peasants involved in the anti-communist Tambov Rebellion in 1921. The Tambov Rebellion was a huge peasant uprising against the Bolshevik government in Tambov Governorate, Russia, during the Civil War. Construction of the Rome subway took place under the grounds of the Colosseum in 1939. It's a day nursery in the East End of London. The children are sheltering in a linen cupboard during an air raid. Hats are neatly hung in a pool room. New York, 1943. Captured Chinese soldiers beg for their lives in Korea, 1951. German soldiers and Estonian civilians are celebrating the German capture of Tallinn from Soviet control in August 1941. The Wrightcraft scooter car, London, 1936. A waterspout in the Adriatic Sea on November 11, 1944. Prince is being chased by some fans, 1994. New York, 1950. The Viborg Cathedral, after the bombing during World War II. A young boy and girl are on their way to school for the start of a new term in the 1920s. Haruo Nakajima and Momoko Kochi on the set of Godzilla, 1954. Jane Mansfield, who was in Playboy magazine many times, was one of the sex symbols of the 1950s. A war veteran is selling matches on the street in England during the 1930s. Frank Sinatra is playing baccarat at the Sands Casino in Las Vegas in November of 1959. An Iranian general is demonstrating his physical fitness. This was in Iran during the 1980s. A German soldier is setting fire to buildings in Warsaw during the city's deliberate destruction. This was ordered by Heinrich Himmler as retaliation for the Warsaw Uprising to crush the Polish nation in September 1944. Nurses are trained to operate an incubator, a vital tool for the care of premature infants. 1939. The very last moments of a Japanese dive bomber. Approaching Shadow, 1954. Jeff Bridges and Sam Elliott actors, 1997. Armed Republican militia women were in Madrid at the beginning of the Spanish Civil War in 1936. January 1941. There's a high-class trailer camp at Sarasota, Florida. Someone's sweeping up in front of a trailer home. Claudia Cardinale at the Venice Film Festival, 1960. Alan and Walter are rafting on the Slough in Alberta, Canada. The year was 1938. Italy, 1940s. Wedding. The older generation is beaming with happiness, and the mother is holding her son tightly. A Welsh royal guard fell down because of the extreme heat. None of the others rescued him to not break their rules. This happened in 1957.